Good morning, and welcome and thank you to the Bellevue University Board of Directors, the faculty, administration, and staff, family and friends of the graduates, and most of all, the graduating class of 2023. Yes, they deserve a round of applause. Thank you. I'm honored to be with all of you to celebrate this amazing milestone. So, I'm sure many of you are sitting there and you're wondering, so why is a performing arts leader the commencement speaker? You're thinking, what do the arts have to do with my achievements in my own career? And when I mention the arts, I'm referring to music that includes rock, jazz, country, blues, hip hop, and world music, plus other genres. Broadway shows, dance presentations, family shows, comedians, and more. Well, first, my graduation gift to all of you is that I definitely will not try to sing or dance or perform, and you're welcome. Trust me, you don't want that. However, I do want to answer that question today, and will do so in a few minutes. I know that many of you have accomplished this degree at a later stage in your life. You are already working and perhaps raising a family or taking care of loved ones. You decided to make a change along the way and accomplish this extraordinary task to complete a degree that is outside of what you may have been doing. Therefore, I'm going to start by sharing a little bit about my own personal journey and some of the ideas and challenges that I experienced that are not included in my bio. So as Dr. Hawkins mentioned, I began my career as a public school music teacher in Pennsylvania in a small rural town, sort of similar to Nebraska communities, but as we said, it's Nebraska with hills. The students were great and I enjoyed working with them. But I quickly realized that it was not the career path I envisioned for myself. I admired my committed fellow teachers and understood how important educators are. But for me, I just knew I didn't want to keep pushing a piano down the hall for my entire career. So as many of you have done in finding your own path, I had to create my own way, and as all of you have done, I chose to go back to school. I've always had the emotional support of my parents to do what I envisioned, but however, when I looked at the University of Michigan programs, especially the MBA program, my father warned me not to get my hopes up. Although he thought I could do anything, in this case, he said that with my music educator background, getting into business school would be a huge challenge, and it was very possible I would not be accepted. I went ahead anyway and applied. I just knew I had to try, and I worked, and I studied, and I took summer classes, and ultimately I was thrilled to be accepted. That was only the first challenge, however. When I arrived in Ann Arbor, it was some years ago, and our class was 20% female and 80% male. It was obvious it would require navigating through a program that traditionally hadn't had many women, and there were challenges in those years and beyond. And frankly, after I graduated, it was still a challenge at times as I moved through various jobs around the country, and at one point I was only the second woman to lead a major orchestra in the entire country. But I focused on my work, pushed for more gender equity, and tried to contribute to each organization and community. So when I was called about this position in Omaha, I was living in Phoenix at the time, and I had no intention of leaving. I knew the recruiter, and she knew I liked living in Phoenix, and she'd only say it was a great opportunity. It actually took 3 phone calls before she would even tell me where this job was and that it was Omaha. And I had to look it up where it was on the map. But what I did hear from her and what I could see was the potential that existed here. I could envision, sort of looking like a puzzle, I saw all the pieces and I could envision the puzzle box lid, and I took a chance, and when I arrived, I got a desk, an assistant production manager, and a computer, and they said go, and so I did. Omaha Performing Arts, OPA, has just assumed responsibility at the time for the Orpheum and was also building the Holland Performing Arts Center. But the more I saw and the more I learned, the more I just knew we could create something special and change the community. I'm so proud of the progress at OPA where we've now grown into the largest arts organization in Nebraska with programs that reach across the entire state and with a culture that is inclusive and diverse and equitable. And our most recent achievement was the opening of Steelhouse Omaha a few weeks ago, our latest venue to host concerts and community events. That building is going to change the community again by adding to the entertainment, arts, and culture experiences. And I'm going to sneak in a commercial today. I hope to see all of you at those shows at Steelhouse. So it's really pretty fun. The growth of our organization required having a vision and then working to achieve it. It also required many people who were an important part of that commitment: our board, our staff, patrons, donors, and volunteers. None of us can do this work by ourselves. We must rely on others, as I'm sure all of you have done, even if you completed your degree online and not in a classroom or on Bellevue's campus. Each of us has a vision, what can be. Each of you have shown that you can have your own vision for yourselves and what you can contribute. I know that many of you have overcome incredible challenges and obstacles to be here today, and it's so very impressive. Your passion and drive took you through those late study sessions, those sleepless nights, and you had to be willing to ask for help and understanding from your family and your friends. Each of you figured out your own team, and it worked. Here you are today, overcoming all of those challenges that brought you here. And that's only the first step. You envisioned this goal, and now you're here. So the challenge is, what's next? How do you go forward with your degree from Bellevue and keep achieving? Now it's time for each of you to take your vision to the next step. It's critical for all of us to keep reinventing and innovating and never stopping. What's exciting is I see in all of you the perseverance to do what you have to do. And what's also wonderful about today is that now no one can ever take this degree away from you, ever. It's only the first step for what's ahead. So before I return to the role of the arts, I have just a little bit of practical advice today, 3 fairly simple recommendations. First, always continue to put yourself in another situation. It's not about checking it off the list or just get her done. It's about determining what people are seeking or what they need and doing your part to help. What's their perspective? What might they be juggling or handling? You've had to focus on yourself to get this degree, but now it's also important to look outward. How you approach others, your spirit, your empathy, your communication is so important no matter what your career path may be. Number 2, continue to be curious. The most successful people I've seen are always learning, always inquiring, always wanting to know more. And the more you're willing to do and learn and absorb, the more you can contribute to your business and in turn, build your career. Number 3, come together with others. You know, we live in a world where we're so focused on our devices and our phones and on social media, but as humans, we need to come together to share experiences. I know that a lot of you persevered to work online, not in an in-person group setting, but you had to work individually when you could find the time. But the need to come together with others and make a difference in our communities is vital. So that brings me back to where we began. Why are you hearing from an arts leader? It takes many attributes for what I do and the same qualifications I see in all of you. Bellevue's power skills, if you will. Creativity, how to achieve the degree. Perseverance, how to keep going even when it's difficult. Or, remember that, there was a pandemic. Or issues at home. Collaboration with your family and friends. Problem solving, communications, and so much more. And as for the arts, they bring us together. When we attend a show or a concert, they help us express ourselves. As humans, we come together with all that's happening in the world today, and I think We need shared arts experiences now more than ever. Whether you're listening to music, dancing, attending a Broadway show, watching your children participate in the arts, the challenges we all face in our daily lives can be put aside for a bit when we experience the arts. The arts help us process all that noise and distractions that exist in our lives, and they can help us be better people, better employees, better members of our community. So I encourage you to share those experiences. Looking out at all of you, I'm inspired by the future I see before us today. You're a pretty impressive group. You're the ones we're going to depend on to lead, to grow your businesses, and most of all, contribute to community. To the family and friends who've joined us, who've supported these graduates, thank you. To the faculty and administration of Bellevue, your assistance and belief in these graduates makes an enormous difference. And to the graduates, congratulations. What you achieved today, no one can take away. You're entering the next stage of your lives, so get out there and perform. And to all of you, bravo. Thank you.